And we're live. Welcome to another episode of 3C Sports. And today I'm joined by Jared, CCN, Gents. What's happening?
Oh,
Yeah,
good,
I
man.
couldn't rock the yellow ones. They're dirty. I've been wearing since Saturday. I'm good. How you guys doing?
We good.
A bit hot
We
so, but
good.
you move, bro.
Yeah. We hot so, but yeah, we move. We move. Let me just quickly share my screen. Let's just hop straight into.
I'm all in for your tears. Your teas are sweet. I love. Oh, there we go. There we go. See, this is how
Yeah. So
powerful
first and foremost,
the
Jared, can we give you a round of applause, CCN? Let's just clap for home.
Thank you,
It's
thank
been
you, thank you,
10
thank
years.
you.
I mean, 10 years is a long time, my guy.
Yeah,
So
that's two
congratulations.
two presidential terms if you think about it in those terms. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you didn't have to mention the 10-year wait. I think we're all comfortable with just Chiefs winning this weekend and you clapping, and that's that. You didn't have to
It's
go
been,
that route.
it's been 10 years. How old is your son anyway, your firstborn, CCN?
Why you have to be that
I'm
guy?
asking. That I'm just
Nah, it's
asking.
like
How old is he?
you know the problem
How old is Njabula?
Njabula is 7, so yeah, he doesn't know a victorious Chiefs. So I had to tell a story. I had to tell him stories that
You was hearing
before.
folklore there over there, brother.
That's what it was actually. That's what it was. But just to show you how powerful Chiefs as a brand is. I mean, look, the rand is what 1809. When was the last time you saw 1809? And I've just checked CNN now, where
Yeah.
the Dawn up in the States and in China, they've gone and said they've put a halt on tariffs for 90 days. Coincidence? I don't
Coincidence.
think so. Yeah, 90 days for us to celebrate this. It's no coincidence, guys. But I'm just saying.
Yeah. But congrats, man. More than anything, congrats. Let's just analyze the game a bit. I'll start with you, Jared. From a Pirates perspective, where did it all go wrong for our team,
Ah, brother. Let me put it this way. I think there was some last week already, the week before, there were some signs that Nabi had figured out how to play against Jose.
bro?
And I think we fell into a bit of, we fell into a loop. I think we got caught out a few times and we didn't heed the warning. And I think what happened, truth be told, Chiefs deserve to win the game. I don't think we offered enough going forward. Um, and I think, this has been a problem for us since I, you know, as much as we want to say we were competing and we've gone deep into all the competitions, I think there's still question marks over our strikers, and there's also still question marks over our defense. Um, I think I look at all the games we've lost. Um, we've lost control quite often of the game, and it's wild moments that has really cost us, truth be told, a place in the Champions League final, and now even again in the Nedbank Cup. I think our defense, truth, it was a bit shocking. Some of the defending that we've seen in the recent weeks, and I just think our players have struggled. I think fatigue has set in. Don't think we have enough players to rotate.
Mm.
And yeah, man, I can't actually complain. I think for me, I think Makala should have started the game.
Yeah.
Uh, he's the one that gives some, truth be told, is the one that really gives solidity into that midfield. As much as I
Yeah.
like talent and Lamini, I think that ability to also just keep the structure. Makaula's been the center to all of that.
Yeah.
And yeah, when I think we look back at it, I think the week before, we've had issues with the Chiefs, especially with Modi there running on the wing. We struggle to deal with him, and the high line we play has been exposed a few times, especially by Chiefs.
Yeah.
Um, but and then our issues with set pieces has been a season long issue. So yeah,
Yeah.
like I said, from my side, I think Chiefs deserved the win. You would have expected more, but I think, like I said, these guys are 10 years to wait, so they had more on the line.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Over to you. Where do you think Pirates went wrong today? And before we talk about, we'll end off with, of course, your team and how they played. But where do you think? Do you concur with Jared?
To a certain degree, one of the fatigue part, I'm
Mm,
with you totally. And for some reason, I think everyone goes on about repetition being the father of learning. They forget that it's a two-edged sword if you think about it. Because in as much as you guys have a way that you play, and your plumber sticks to those guns where he goes right ahead and he sticks to it. But we've gone to a point where we've repeatedly played you and you guys constantly beat us the same way.
mm-hmm.
At some point, we will figure you out. The first goal that goes in, I'm thinking to myself, it's a repeat of what happened last week because last week we also scored first.
Yeah.
You then equalize, right? And then I think my team is in trouble. But you don't do what Pirates normally does is once you get that equalizer, there's something that you do that you constantly are attacking the team, and now we are going back, we fall deeper and deeper and deeper to a point where we don't go in your half. And when
Yeah.
that happens, then it gives these pockets of small pockets of space for your two boys, my 2000 boys. They love playing in those small pockets where they do these simple 1-2s and whatnot. The minute we get there, we're in trouble because now we're playing as you want us to play.
Yeah.
Don't know what you noticed this weekend. 10 minutes before we scored, we were coming. And I'm not talking
Mm-hmm.
in dribs and drabs. We had quite a few chances for us to go right ahead and bury the match. When we score, I initially thought we'd wasted time because the boy is in the middle, in the box, and then for some
Yeah.
reason decides to go out wide. And then when the cross comes in, ah, anyway, I
Yeah.
don't want to talk about Chiefs. I think you
Yeah.
guys are
No.
tired.
Yeah. Guys.
And
Yeah.
you failed your plumber in that this is his final in South Africa, and you failed him.
Oh
What
yeah,
does it
guys.
say?
I'm not sure if you can see this, but this is from Itumeleng Kune coming to Riviero and the announcement. The timing was off. I think
Yes.
it destabilized the players because a lot of their form had dropped. So I also
I,
do
I,
agree with
I
this as
partially
well.
I partially agree with him. And on the
Yeah.
flip side, I mean, if it's a manager that you get these you get these managers. It doesn't
Hmm.
matter the sport where you would run through a brick wall as an athlete for them.
Hmm.
And if you know that homie is going to be leaving, this is his final season, you are wanting to go out on a bang. That's why I'm saying, partially agree with what he's saying, but on the greater scheme of things, I mean, you guys have chowed us in like, yeah, I think the last four derbies, we've won one and you've won the three.
Mm.
So why didn't your players show up for your manager? I think you guys are tired, and in as much as ish, you guys are playing the same kind of thingy players, it showed
Yeah.
this weekend that
Yeah.
you had more minutes in the season than us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think to add to what Sifia said there also. I look at the truth of the matter is the where we really struggled has been the last month. Our form has tailed off dramatically this end of the year.
Mm.
And I don't think it has anything to do with the announcement because I mean, right up until then, we still went into Algeria and we beat Waters to qualify for the semi-final. I think where the real problem came in for me, I mean, I look at the midfield looks flat. They look like they've run their legs. We're not getting Rele and Nkota on the ball enough to actually make a difference. And I think Rele for me was the one because I think Chiefs actually dealt with him very well. They
Yeah,
shepherded him into areas where they could control him. I think the previous derbies he's had a bit more time, and that difference that he made wasn't really on show in this game. And I think just one thing that I have to say, as much as we say this, look, our, the problem at Pirates, and this has been our issue for a long time, the strength of our squad has never been the greatest. We've always had 15 players, where you compare that to Sundowns, and Sundowns can put out three squads of quality players in a PSL term. Chiefs have also, and this I think where teams are struggling when they go head to head with Sundowns for such a long time. Sundowns can rotate and put out quality
Yep.
even in
Yep.
the and take cup games off and put out a team that should actually be quality, competing for the PSL. We don't have that luxury, and you run deeper into the Champions League like we did, and it starts showing because, truth be told, I think the season will look like a failure, but we perform exceptionally well for 8 months out of the 10. But the reality
yeah,
of football is we look at what happens in the last month.
yep,
Sundowns are most going to win the league next week.
It's what they say when they say that like the league in itself is a marathon. It's not a
Yeah,
sprint. And you're right. For 7 months, you guys were like there were instances. I'm like, okay, you guys are gonna push for the treble,
yeah,
and you're going to award this guy like, yo, guy, cheers, thank you very much. You've taken us from downward spiral, an unknown entity, and he's done some well, I don't say magic, but
yeah,
he's done well. I mean, any coach who pushes the Sundowns right up until like the end
yeah,
deserves praise, because Sundowns is a machine, guys. Let's not get
yeah,
it twisted. Sundowns is a machine. They've got all the resources, and sure, fine, they might not have the pedigree, but the resources. And most of these players locally, they in it for the resource. End of the day, their career is very short, so money counts. Sundowns can afford to buy a player for 15 bar and bench the player, or he plays like half the games in the season, and
yeah,
every now and then they'll put him in a cup squad. They can afford to do that. So any manager who can go right ahead toe to toe has done well. But yeah, you'll be judged come end of the season, where the last bit, this bit, which
yeah,
is this month, you guys have fallen short.
yeah.
yep, yeah, yeah, yeah. I no, no,
So
no.
I'm not gonna say that you're a failure, but we're a bunch of winners.
No, but like let's look at at the season as a whole. Of course, we all know Sundowns when it comes to the league. That's the bread and butter. Like I don't think Chiefs and Pirates are close to
Yeah, I
Sundowns in that
mean,
regard.
just to add to
But
that, they on eight in
yeah,
a row. It's
Yeah,
eight
they
in a
on what?
row.
yeah.
Eight in a
Eight in a
row.
Eight in
row,
a
yeah.
row.
Famous league, yeah. They can win it. They can win it tomorrow night if they get a point.
Points. Yeah,
Damn, listen to that, bro. And as
Famous
well, they
league,
also still
dude.
they
You
still
you
have
can't
cash as
argue with
well.
it.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, can go.
You can't argue with it. End of the day, money talks and bullshit walks, and unfortunately,
Mm.
your manager is walking. And yeah, you did well, but I'd be
Mm.
happy, Dota. You got the MTN
Yeah,
thingy
no, no,
trophy.
no. Of course, for me, it's always that, Sihle, and I always say at least one trophy a season. Can we celebrate at least once? That's me. I don't ask a lot. I'm not sure about you, Jared. Maybe Jared wants to celebrate 3 times a season. But like with me, locally, at least if we win a cup competition, I'll be happy as a Pirates spectator because I know when it comes to the league, the gap is just way too significant, and the only way to catch them is for us to spend. You know, and unfortunately, ish, our owner man, he isn't one to spend.
I'd
So
say
No,
that
like
yeah, Yep.
I think you and I are suffering from the same thing. We
Yeah.
for 10 years.
Yeah.
I don't know. Now we're gonna speak about my team,
Yep.
Yeah.
the
Might
champions.
as well transition.
Um, for 10 years, Bobby was no one's favorite. Reason being, um, when we spend on the wrong players, and most of the time we try to be cheap. So when there's like pressure that hey guys like spend like give us a player that we can be excited about, we try and plug a gap, and then we look at rejects from Sundowns, and we like Zwagala, like we know you're done at Sundowns now. Here's a nice nyana package come through this side. That doesn't really work all the time. Like in as much as these players are leaving Sundowns are motivated to prove that they it's not over for them, it's over for them. The most you'll get is half a season. The other part that you'll get is okay, fine. When you play Sundowns, they want to show Sundowns that hey, because it's their former team. But I think Nati we hadn't invested um, majorly on the squad, and
Mm.
these buys that most people were surprised. Now this win has brought question marks that I'm very conflicted, and this is me being honest. Um, do you remember the time? I can't remember which manager. I think it was a Man United manager. Um,
Mm.
he won a trophy as he was about to be fired.
Because
At
we need something
LVG.
tough. Yeah.
Uh,
LVG, yeah.
yeah.
And then you didn't have a choice but to keep him. I feel that's where we are. He's given us
Yeah.
silverware, but like this silverware is not really the promised land. We are
Yeah.
better than that. I mean, look at the log. That we're struggling to get into the top eight. I don't know what's the
Yeah.
point difference. I know we're 10th. I don't know what the point difference is for us to actually make top eight.
Mm.
And this is sweet. This trophy is sweet, but I'm no,
Mm.
because I do feel we've got the players.
Yeah. And then what about Upo? Because I see Tato Squid's comment. Chiefs fans
What's
wanted to tell Bobby to resign from Chiefs. Who the heck are you to tell Bobby to leave the family business?
No,
All
and it's
client
right. That's
tied.
what Upobi went on Robert Marawa's show. And
Mm-hmm.
this was when Rob was still on Metro, and he said that it's a family business. And
Mm.
then imagine telling fans that it's a family business. You're not going to tell me who to buy and who not to buy and who to sell and whatnot.
Mm.
That was very egotistical of him, and I
Yeah.
feel that's the disconnect that Chiefs has had over the years. Chiefs gents
Mm.
used to win finals. Like you take Chiefs to
Yeah.
final, you know for a fact that Chiefs is going to win by outscoring you or by crook.
Yeah. That's
And
true.
over
And that's
time,
not too. Yeah. Sundowns have just now become that team that just dominates. You know.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Mm-hmm.
for him to Eric, I know he watches the show, but for him to that was an offside. He shouldn't have said that. And I'm
Mm.
glad to see
Mm.
Junior Kaiser is now the one doing the interviews and whatnot because he's more polished. And
Yeah.
he chooses his words. I saw that this morning, was it this morning or yesterday? He was on 5FM, and then they asked him like, "Yo, does this trophy secure Nabi's future in the club?" And then he went and when PR writes down for you, he went on that script where he said, "Let's savor the moment. We will discuss that performance and come end of the season." As a fan, I don't feel cheated. I know for a fact that we haven't done well, but we've got a trophy. Let's enjoy it. We haven't won anything in 10 years. Upobu wezosho straight udale out here via or this guy is gone and whatnot and whatnot. So I do feel
Yeah.
Junior is more polished than Upobi. But anyway, it's a family business.
Mm.
We just take it as is.
All right. Cool. Did you wanna add anything else, gents, or should
Well,
we move
I just
on?
wanted to
Yeah.
add to the point that Sifle was saying, and I mean, you raised it, is that Sundowns have taken over.
Mm.
We forget Chiefs used to be the most professional and the best run club in this country.
Mm.
And what has happened is that they slowly didn't improve, and Sundowns caught up and have now gone past them. And what has happened to Chiefs is that it's now been, this is just, there's so many similarities between Chiefs and United. Recruitment has
Yeah.
been bad for such a long time,
Mm.
relying on
But the
them
one,
really.
yep. The one thing
And
don't get wrong is the sorry, I'll lose my train of thought.
no
The
problem.
one thing that I don't want you to get wrong is when it comes to facilities.
Yeah.
Ask any player when it comes to facilities, Chiefs is right up there.
Yeah, no.
Mm-hmm.
And Kleurkop is it's just a yellow
Maturin is
building with
still the
blue.
best. Maturin is still the best facility in the country.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And that was my point. I think it's just been, unfortunately, they've been in a rut, and when you get recruitment wrong so often, it just
yep,
Yeah.
drags the team deeper and deeper, and then everyone is basically a player from a previous coach, and that's what the squad is right now. If you look at them, they have a long way to go. Hopefully, winning is going to make them change the different and make a difference in the club going forward. But that is my point. I think there's just been so much that has been lost from Chiefs as a professional entity in terms of they stagnated and everyone became more professional and caught up with it.
Yeah.
very true, very true.
Yeah.
And yeah, Ukrizo is right in that it's Mutsipa. I don't think
So,
these guys make a profit. I don't think season in, season out, they don't make a profit. I can't remember, was it Gavin Hunt where he went in, he said the prices or the trophies that are available, it's like, let's say it's three trophies, right? It's the league, it's the MTN, it's the Netbank. Let's forget about Africa for now. The MTN is 8 bar, the Netbank is 7 bar, the league is I think 12, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I think you guys will correct me. So if you add that, that's like you're not gonna touch. It's close to about, it's 32, 30, yeah, somewhere there. And then in a spending window, Sundowns goes and they spend over 100 mil.
yeah,
Yep.
Like,
But another thing is this, guys. Remember, Sundowns in recent years they won that Super Cup, which was 75 bar.
yeah,
That's a
yeah,
shitload of money. They won the league. They qualified for Club World Cup. I think it's
Club
nine
World Cup.
point five million
yeah.
dollars per
Almost
Yeah.
50
team.
million, at least 100 million rand there.
Listen to that, and that's just from them qualifying for that tournament. So, yo, that's a lot of revenue, bro. But another team, guys, I feel like we are sleeping on is Stellenbosch, bruh.
Yes.
Stellenbosch have the backing of the so-called
The
Stellenbosch mafia.
the
Yeah,
Stellenbosch. Yeah.
yeah, and I'll use inverted commas, the Ruperts of this world, the
Mm.
Yanni Matons of this world, Crystal Visas of this world. These are multi billionaires, dog, dollar
Come,
billionaires, and so
let me
as
show
a
you someone who knows a
yeah,
champion. Hey, say, hey guys, you know
yeah,
a champion. This is a young champion. This guy. This
He's
guy here.
one.
He's the
yeah,
lucky charm.
yeah, he
Anyway,
is
it's
indeed.
bedtime.
I know he
But
is, he is,
and I
yeah.
think the running
Mm.
of Stellenbosch is like top tier.
Yeah.
Top tier,
Uh,
top
yeah.
tier. Mm.
Sundowns, in as much as from the outside they look like they're a well-run club, I
Mm.
don't know. Maybe it's me. It's the jealous bone in me. I am jealous, and I wouldn't say envious,
Yeah,
but I'm jealous of them. But
yeah.
they don't carry the same weight, which is why I
Mm.
said they don't have the heritage that the Pirates and the Chiefs of this world command.
What I will
Yeah.
say
They
to your
mm,
point, I think Sundowns have the money to make mistakes. It's
Yeah.
just
yes,
something that makes a big
that's
difference. Where I think if you look at, for example, how Stellenbosch are being run and what they're achieving on that budget, they are very akin to what was going on at Supersport for a long time. They're producing
yes.
quality youngsters.
And then they sell to
They
Sundowns.
sell them
Like
off.
there was a point where Supersport was running a tuck shop just for Sundowns.
Yeah, yeah,
Gavin,
yeah. Yo,
Gavin even
hey.
said it. I develop players for them to go down the road to Clodco.
Yeah, and then they go there and they win the league. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can't
yeah.
argue with that. But yes, you're right. I think the takeaway is that Sundowns can afford to make mistakes with their recruitment.
Yeah, and then of course, Crizo says, don't agree with Sundowns coming in and dominating. To Sihle's point, they bought it. Gone are the days of Bloom Celtics. Bloom Celtics is back because
Yeah.
Super Sports
Yeah.
has been, which is crazy. Yeah, when the league was still competitive. Yeah, dog. The league is
Nah, I think
Easy
yeah, we are a
one,
farmers
brother.
league now. I mean, you can't
I
eight seasons in a row.
mm,
Yeah, that
no,
that
it's
doesn't sit
crazy,
right with me.
dude. And it's still go oh, bro, it's still going, dog. It's still gonna go on for quite some time, bro.
But I
Yeah,
wouldn't want
guys.
to be I wouldn't want
Yeah.
to be a Pirates fan right now. In that you've just lost to your bitter rival the weekend, and come Tuesday you're gonna lose the league. I don't know if you guys are at peace with that. If you
Ah,
are, it's beautiful.
it is what it
You
is.
are better losers than I am. But anyway,
It is what it is, and we've accepted that. The last time I was with Jared, we were watching the semi-final first leg
And
against Pyramids at FNP Stadium, and there we even spoke about how it is what it is. It is what it is.
I
Yeah,
think
I
the
wanted
thing
us to.
that also
Yep.
pretty helps us in that sense is that we knew we were
Mm,
always chasing Sundowns. We were never ahead of them.
yeah.
His games in hand is crazy, but even with those games in hand, we're still 3 points behind them if we won all of them. So
Yeah. Yeah. No. 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 Even with what Tato was saying here about Sundowns.
for those that don't know, Utato is a Pretoria boy that supports pirates. I don't know how, but anyway, they exist. They walk amongst us.
And they work. No, they do exist. I also know quite a few, man. Yeah, yeah. But like, yeah, like the foundation at Sundowns has been, set, bro. It really has
yeah,
been set. This team, and as well, for the mere fact that they're constantly qualifying for your Super Cups, they reaching finals of the CAF, they playing Club World Cup.
That's
So
small
yeah,
money that adds up. Okay, Club World
it
Cup, I
does.
take that back. Club World Cup is not.
it's
It's like
money.
if
That's
they make it
money,
up
that
like
one.
that starts with a B
Yeah,
in
Look at,
man.
Renton.
we can say
Yeah,
what we
yeah.
want. They're part of the three best teams in Africa right now. We
Hundred
can,
percent, 100%.
And
they
yet
Yeah,
are,
still
yeah,
they
guys.
struggle. Okay, sure. I was gonna
I
throw
wanted us.
shots at them. It's fine. It's cool. Go on.
I wanted us to segue a bit there and
Where are we
go
going?
Urkant. Yeah,
Ah,
I'm not too sure if you guys watched the El Clasico yesterday. I watched that. I
watched
didn't even watch the
it.
United game, dog. I won't lie to you. I was like, I don't have time to be
We
watching
don't
that
blame
club.
you.
there's nothing
Yeah,
to watch by
and
United.
yes, guys. Yo, what a game of football again. It seems
Yeah.
as if it's back, hey? The Classico is back to what it was when, like the 2010s. Remember with the Ronaldo and Messi days where it was hot. I mean, the last four El Clasicos have all been fire, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about you guys. Yeah, man.
Now, look, from my
Um,
side,
yeah, go for it.
I was just going to
Yeah.
say, from my side, I think, we, the game, I think, is perfect example of Flick's crazy tactics on one side and Madrid
Yeah.
having zero balance and zero defense
Mm,
on the other side. And it's just made for very entertaining games, but
mm,
you can also see why both teams struggled in Europe.
mm.
Barca play, they're the most entertaining team in Europe. They
Yeah.
play great football. The games are always exciting, but Inter showed you that those wild swings that happen in these games, just if you know how to ride it and you have the experience to ride it, you can stay in the game.
Yeah.
Um, where I think Madrid has just shown you three times now. It happened in the Copa del Rey. It happened in the
Mm,
first in the Super Cup as well, and it's now happened in this game. They try to take advantage of that high line.
mm,
They score, but the reality is they know they can't defend. And
mm.
where they're gonna they for Madrid to be able to get back to the levels they need to sort out their defensive
Yeah.
solidity because they just a mess at the back. And you're adding
Right.
Trent to that situation, like someone like Rizzo just said, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be fun in games. That's
I think
and then yeah, from I think on Barca's side, from my side, I think it's entertaining, it's great.
Yeah.
Do you see them winning a Champions League playing that style? I'm not sure.
Mm.
They have the firepower to outscore anyone, but that line is just so suicidal that if
Yo,
you know how to
bruh.
take advantage of it, it's game over because they just can't defend. I mean, you saw it with Inter with Dumfries and those wide diagonals the whole time. They just couldn't defend against it.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
my my view is it's a bit of a distorted one. So Madrid don't have a La Masia setup. They know it. So what Madrid does is brilliant from Paris, where he will screw your club over when it comes for your prized possession, so to say, and then tells them that, hey, listen, your contract is going to expire in 2 years. Um, I don't want to pay 50 bar to the club. I can give you 25 mil. You run that. I'm willing to wait. And to the next person, because like remember, football is a if you don't have an academy, that means you can't afford to wait. So he's
Yeah.
going against that, and he is waiting with players that he knows that he's gonna have in like 2 to 3 years. Unlike Barca, where they have to I almost said breed these players because they bred Messi with those
Yeah.
injections. But anyway, um, sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
And this guy, guys.
I'm a huge Messi fan, by the way. I'm a huge
Yeah.
Messi fan.
Well, we all
And
are.
then
We all are.
you then look at the two sides right now. Two totally different ways of winning. The one buys it, the other one nurtures the talent, and then until you get to a point where you have what you have right now. Eugen's Barcelona talent is on another tip. You have to give it to them. I think when Mbappe joined Madrid, everyone said Champions League is sorted for the next 5 years. But
Yeah.
I'm looking at Pedri and I'm looking at Yamal. I'm looking at who's the Brazilian from Leeds.
Rafinha.
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 He
Rafinha is
he keeps on doing this. And the thing is, he was good at Leeds. Like he was good. I mean, Chelsea wanted him.
Yeah.
And then he decided he was going to go to Barca. And I'm glad that he went to Barca the time that he went to Barca. Because at the time, Barca were at their lowest. They were just busy cleansing this, that. Like they couldn't they signed players, but they couldn't play. And so there was that whole noise around it and whole commotion. And this cat comes through, the manager. He comes, he doesn't really care about what's going on in the board level. But he's got these kids focused and they play beautiful football, like to the point where on Tuesday we went Nabotulani, we went, a friend of ours was graduating, and we decided like, nah, we'll skip the pleasantries of the speeches and the whatnot, and we'll go by the bar and watch the game. And no one was even flinching because there's an understanding that this is beautiful, beautiful football to watch. It's appealing to the eye. It's what we grew up watching. Not this.
Yeah.
A lot of people disagree with me. I feel Pep has kind of ruined the game the older he's gotten, in that it has be he's made robots of these players. They
That's
know, I
fair.
don't think they're expressive. And with these kids, ay, 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 ay,
Dude.
ay, ay.
And you know what I like, CKN? The art of 1v1, bro.
Yes.
Yamal is bringing that back. Remember Robinho back in the day? Robinho, 1v1, let's go.
But
You know, and that's what I
It's
like the
unfair.
most.
It's unfair when you go 1v1. You have to get two defenders on him, and then one has to foul him, and then
Yo.
that's the only way to
I
stop him.
felt Marco was going through a lot, bruh.
He was very much exposed.
This kid, and this kid was just problematic. Even Pastoni, I rate Pastoni, but 1v1 with Yamal, and this kid just knows how to beat a man.
I don't know if you saw.
And as well,
Yeah, go for it.
he's not out here being a pace merchant about it. That's another thing. He's not out here outrunning his defender. He just skills them, bro. He slices through the defense, bro.
And
Like
he's got a
hot
shot in
knife
him.
through butter.
This kid's got a shot in him.
Yeah, he really does.
But I don't
really
know.
does,
He
he
so
really
Pastonya's I think it was online. I can't remember which platform, Twitter, or Instagram, or whatever those platform, where he's got was it Paston? He's admitting that the kid is talented. But I think he's holding his back. I can't remember whether it was, but I'll remember. I'll try and find the pictures into
Mm.
pictures now, and I'll send it to you. But yes,
Yeah, yeah,
the El Clasico is back, gents. Let's
Yeah,
just
man.
we
yeah,
there was a point, there was a lull, I think 2015 up until recently,
mm,
where it became very boring, and I think the numbers kind of went
it
down in
did.
the Clasico. I mean, you had those Sunday night
Yeah,
games, only the passionate guys would watch. But now I think the excitement
yeah,
is coming back. Even it's nice to, like, if a wife gets involved, she's like, "Yo, what time is kickoff for El
yeah.
Clasico?" Because it's like, because okay, most
It's
of the time
hot, bro. All of
she
them.
wants to watch because of goals, because
Yeah.
she finds a nil-nil draw
Yeah,
very boring. And I'm like, but like, it's not about that. It's about the play, and like, give me goals, and I'm there. So for her to watch a game, first half they score 4 goals. That's a brilliant game. So yes, the Clasico is back.
yeah,
I don't know if you want to speak on this, because
yeah,
I know Perez watches the game. Sorry, watches the podcast.
What is the
Yeah, so be
podcast?
careful what you want to
yeah.
say.
I know. I know. I think I wanted us to segue to Homeboy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And then here's a comment by Crizzle, just to, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that this guy will turn things around? He will stabilize and create balance? Because at the end of the day, I do believe that Madrid are just not balanced, especially in the midfield. A player like Cruz is missed because Cruz was the one who used to control and dictate play. And it was very difficult for the opposing team to get the ball from Cruz because of how he was so good at connecting everything together.
Um, I,
But
I,
your thoughts on this,
I
guys?
I don't know if you've
Yeah.
seen him train his team, Bundesliga, where
Mm.
he's the one pinging the balls in. Like, he's literally
Yes.
just standing there and he's
Hmm.
pinging the balls in. To have as I wouldn't say as a young player, but like, I'm looking at like players that are between 18 and 24. To have someone who's done it all, and I'm not talking about done it all in the 70s or done it all in the 80s. Like, this is someone that you've watched do it, like, on TV. For first, they don't have a choice but to respect him because of what he brings and the respect that he commands in the club. Secondly, his understanding of the game. Formation-wise, I
Mm.
don't really care. He will decide, as a manager, whether he wants to play this formation that everyone is going on about. What is it, 3-4-3 or whatever? Like, okay,
Um,
he will decide what's best for him. I think he had a wish list that he sent through to Perez. Perez has either provided the wish list or whatnot, because he was supposed to come in last season, and yeah, he is brilliant at a balanced side, and I think that
yeah.
is going to be the killer for everybody. Once you get the formation, yeah. Once you get the balance right in that squad and the players respect, and I feel the Don at some point last season, the trophy, he won the league, or he won Champions League. Yeah, he won
Both.
Champions League.
You
Yeah,
won
yeah.
both.
I think he got away with murder, in that he bought himself more time. The team had, even from last season, there were cracks in that the team is not really balanced. But
Mm.
because you can't argue with 15, trophy number 15 and the league, you couldn't argue with that. So for him to live on this note, because I think the league is gone, it's going to be the first time in a very long time that they actually finish the season without a trophy.
Trophy this year.
Yeah. So I think
That's
Homeboy,
crazy.
yeah, Homeboy is, they don't have a choice but to be excited about him.
I think from my
Yeah.
side, I think with Xavi especially, as Sikles basically said earlier, the hardest thing about Madrid is not coaching the players. It's about earning the players' respect.
Yeah.
Because truth be told,
Mm.
there's enough talent in that team for you to be able to. You don't have to coach, and that's partly why Zidane was so good. Zidane was able to just manage egos, and that's what Carlo's been doing his whole life. Tactically, he makes little adjustments, but he's very flexible with the tactics. But the reality of it is, he knows how to manage the players, and I think that's Xabi will have the benefit of being a Madrid legend. He's won at the club. He's done everything. Players, like Sikle says, the players have seen him succeed. Um, and I think
Yeah.
where the big issue is going to be is basically just trying to find the balance in the squad. But look, for him, I think actually for Trent, he could be the best coach that comes in because he
Thank
will
you.
find a way to
Mm.
find balance to protect Trent. And
Mm.
the reality is Trent is coming in to replace Tony's passing. That's why he's coming.
Mm.
The, the
Mm.
I
only
totally agree
blame,
with you, and I think the other problem that Xavi faces is the dilemma between Vini and Mbappe.
yeah,
There's an opportunity that they had yesterday, and they were literally sitting on top of each other.
yeah.
And a pass comes in. Well, Father Christmas, they were sitting in each
Yeah.
other's
And
lap.
Vinny
But
took a
anyway,
touch that ended up all the way by the keeper.
thank you. So that
Yo, that was a bad touch.
yeah, that tells you. But like you saw how close they were to
Close
each
to
other.
him.
I mean, you're attacking, and then
Mm.
you just occupy that space, and it's like, okay, cool. I don't know who should be here. And Vini used to okay, I wouldn't say he used to have a brilliant first touch. He had pace, which made him get away with a lot
Plenty
of
of
like
bad touches.
missed. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I think he was better off leaving the ball for Mbappe at the
Mbappe.
time. But because they were so close to each other,
No one
Mm.
could react. Nah, I think for
Yeah,
me,
no one could
that's a
react.
big thing. And I think, you know what, the one, it's actually funny. I was speaking about this a few days ago. If you look at Trent has never had a big striker to play with. He's always had three
Mm.
fast, quick strikers. He's had Firmino, Mane, Salah, Jota, Watts, and the type of balls that Trent puts in aren't balls looking for players to head. He puts you in on goal.
Mm.
And
Fantasy League, we're gonna miss him, eh?
exactly,
We are
if
going to
you
Mm.
miss him.
if you think about it, he's the perfect player to create chances for their front three because they've got the pace to run in behind.
Mm.
They've just needed, and that's something they've lacked, is that they just needed someone to actually put the pass and put the pass in early enough. Because Mbappe
Mm.
there's points he runs offside the whole time because players delay the pass to him.
Yep.
So I think that's gonna work. I think they're still gonna need someone to come in to replace Luca. Maybe they're gonna go spend 100 million on Ritz and bring him from Bayern Leverkusen with Shabi. We'll see.
Hey,
Here's another. I was
let's
gonna. Yeah.
segue.
Mm,
Yeah,
If
McAllister.
they pull this off, oh jeez, I'm going
Mm.
to yeah, this is gonna make my
Mm.
it's literally gonna make my year because what that does is it takes away two items that I hate about Liverpool. The calmness of this boy in the middle of the park and the way that
Yeah.
he's I don't know, he's calm in like he's not flashy. He keeps the
mm,
game going,
Yeah.
and that's a very difficult skill set to have because that sitting in that position requires you to actually read the play. You kind of like you have an understanding of where this player is and whatnot, and you just keep it moving. They take that away from Liverpool, and then okay, Trent has not been the best this season, but he's passing and whatnot. I think that will make for fair, I don't know, competition. It will give Arsenal
Yeah.
certainly a chance to be another bridesmaid. But anyway, but if this happens, I think it's a match made in heaven. They're gonna
Yeah.
pay.
And as well, he's yeah, they will pay. They will pay. And I also do think, man, McAllister also has a wicked shot on him. I like midfielders who can shoot from range, man. With either foot,
D-
whether it's his left foot or right foot,
Don't
he
don't
can easily
don't
win
don't
you games.
don't take shots on Odegaard now. Come on.
Nah. Yeah. But for me, it would be solid. And I think he would walk into the team as well. But another thing, guys, what happens to Bellingham?
How do you mean?
Do you still think he starts?
I
Oh
Do
fuck
you
do.
yeah.
still think he starts
Oh
He
yeah,
along?
fuck yeah.
starts definitely. They won't.
Yeah.
I think McAllister comes in and actually does 80-90% of what Luca gave to the team in terms of being able to
Yeah.
control the tempo, slow the game down, and pass.
Yeah.
Tell
Uh,
tell tell Shivard, hey, speak to Perez. Perez can make it happen.
Yeah.
But
they're
I spoke
coming
to
to
him.
destroy your team, Shabab, bro.
I think it's that thing. You know Declan Rice at West Ham,
Yeah,
where he did it all in the middle, and we never really saw him go venture forward as much as we knew that he could in his game. Um, with McAllister coming in at Madrid, I think it frees up a lot for Jude, because it then allows him to I don't know, get away with murder and not tracking back as much. He can, because I mean, last season or the other season where he was scoring goals for fun because
it was last season.
It was last
it was
season.
last season. He was perceived to be the striker.
Yeah.
So he's got goals in him. So the further you push him up the field, the more goals you'll get out of him. And I think McAllister comes in, he pushes a bit more forward.
Look, I think that's been the biggest struggle for Madrid this season because Jude was their physical presence last season, and they've had to drop
Yeah.
him deeper to accommodate Mbappe, Rodrigo, and Vini in the team, and they've lacked a physical presence up front to actually play the ball long. Because I mean, if you remember the game last year, I think against City, they ended up playing with Jude almost as the nine, and
Hmm?
Vinny and Watson was standing off him because he was the one that was busy competing and fighting for the ball up front when the ball was going long.
And I think also these players, they need to get to a point of maturity and have an understanding that that there's no position that's demarcated for them. They should be able
Yeah,
to do what the manager wants them to do. If the manager says you interplay between the three, and when I say the three, I'm talking Vini on the one side, Jude in the middle, Mbappe on the other side. They should be able to go right ahead and no. Bruno is good, but Bruno is number 17 right now, so let's not talk about Bruno. Um, so if the manager says, because I hear rumors that what's his name, the Rodrigo
yeah,
is packing. I think his destination
Mm.
is Arsenal, which will be good for him. And the one thing I'm really excited about is there's this run-in period that we've got just before the World Cup, where these players need to perform, and it's always interesting to see, like, there's going to be players that are going to come out of nowhere that are going to like really perform and want to be noticed by their national coaches. Brazil have gone right ahead and they've got a new manager a year before the World Cup. What fuckery is that? That's never happened. Sure, fine.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of experience, and I'm pretty sure he's going to tell his Real Madrid boys, his Real Madrid Brazilian boys, that you guys are sorted, but they need minutes. Rodrigo is looking at this and
Yeah.
saying, "Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I need to look out for me." And if that means Martinelli on the bench, because unfortunately, what's his name? Rodrigo takes that position for Martinelli and ends there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Rodrigo's
No, no,
giving
no,
me
no.
vibes that had with Mesut when he left to Arsenal. He was in the same position. He
Yeah.
came
Yeah,
there, you the
it's that
one odd
simple.
man out at the end of the day.
And then
Yeah.
he became the man. Like he became
Yeah,
also was when he came from Madrid. Everyone was saying that he's done for and whatnot, and he became the beast that we know to be Ozil. Okay, now he's buffed, so we're not going to talk bad about him. But he was a beast
Yeah.
at Arsenal. So Rodrigo
Yeah.
has to look at his future. It's like a year going into the World Cup, and it's going to be okay, cool. It's going to be in Trump land, which means it's easier
Yeah.
for South America to actually go and
mm,
support.
Yeah. Yeah. Of
But
course. The
at some point,
240.
Tatopi, you have to pay. You have to pay for top talent.
Yeah.
It cannot be that you treat yourself like a Villa. Actually, Villa is spending money. Let's not say
mm,
even Villa. You can't see yourself as a Brighton. At some point, you must pay top dollar for top talent. And at the pay at at where he is right now in his career, yeah, 240, pay it and get it over and done with.
Yeah. And he's a two-time Champions League winner. So for a change, Arsenal are signing a
yeah,
winner in their team, someone who's done it at the top
Very
level.
true.
He instantly gains respect from his peers. Automatically, Martinelli, even moves aside, steps aside. He's like, okay, my G, I know. Because Saka, of course, will occupy the left channel, but then yeah, it'll be Rodrigo on the no. Saka's on
Right,
the right. Sorry,
Rodrigo will go back to his
Rodrigo
more
will be
comfortable on the left.
on the left, and that's frightening, bro. Because Rodrigo is a problem,
Yeah, he's
dog.
No,
quite.
yeah.
Yo, Rodrigo is a baller, bro.
So I don't know
Yeah,
if
he's a quality
on any of
player.
these pictures you've got Arsenal. I think Arsenal's problems are very easy to fix. They pay for top talent. They get in. I'm viewing two players. One being Rodrigo, another one being a striker. They can decide who they want, whether they want Isak. But minimum they should spend this because I don't think Rodrigo is going to be over 70 or 80. I think yeah, he's somewhere there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
Madrid
he's
asking
not
for
a
100.
Nah, they're just saying that right now. They just it's still early. I think
They're saying 100.
yeah, they're talking shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
the
think
other
it's
win
I know.
the window has dictated
Hmm.
that. I mean, they just turning around because they had him under contract
Yeah,
for a while. So they'll point around and say, look at the other
yeah,
players going for 90, 100 million odd.
100%.
nah. Arsenal's problems are very easy, and I think if I don't know if Taduk B wants to take it outside, we can take it outside. But it's
Mhm.
simple. They get Rodrigo on the wing. They get Saka on the other wing. They get the top striker in the middle of the park. Odegaard,
Yeah,
Odegaard and
Gyökeres,
Rice. I think they've got that Atletico player in the middle. What's his name? Zuba. Yeah,
Zubi.
Zubi do.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I don't think they need to do anything in the back. Not tinker they. Leave it alone. Maybe get from upgrade players from the academy. But all they need to do those two positions that they need to fix. The
I think
Martinelli is not it. And then a striker, and that's that.
I think they still
yeah.
there's a part of me that says, we say this, but unfortunately Arsenal still has that thing about them right now that even if they
Hmm.
fix it, it's like Tottenham. Whatever happens when push comes to shove, they just don't have that thing
Yeah,
to push them over the line.
Well,
I
what's his name?
I
yeah.
Arteta
do
went
feel
and he played. Was it last season where he played? You'll never walk alone. In
yeah,
training and on like speakers and stuff just before they faced Liverpool. It's gimmicky, but at least he's doing something.
yeah, look,
I won't knock the
You know
man.
what?
I won't knock the
He
man.
saw. I think he saw Rassi Erasmus do that for the Springboks before they played the French national
yeah,
team, playing the French national anthem over and over again. And yeah, just for the players to get used to what could potentially be the atmosphere
See,
of the
see,
game.
Tatupi said exactly what I've just said. So you go back
yeah.
to that other one. I've missed it.
Oh yeah, yeah, the one, yeah, Gyökeres,
Yeah,
Saka.
it's
Yo,
exactly it's exactly that.
yeah, that's a
And
solid
what that does is
front
the
three.
bench now becomes the depth in itself becomes very very strong in that
Mm.
they've got that ex I won't even mention his name, that ex Chelsea player who covered us the Champions League with the header against City. I won't mention his name. Don't
Oh,
no, I don't want to say his
Havertz.
name. And then they've got Trossard, and then they've got Martinelli. So
Mm.
that's a that's a good bench to have attack wise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a solid bench, bro. That's a solid bench.
I think
Yeah, no, I'm with
my
yeah.
other thing
You
is
can
just
go.
Arteta
Yeah, go.
himself. I think Arteta's become he's overthinking things right now. He's become
Yeah,
too
So
pragmatic for
So we
his
call
own.
that
yeah.
we call that it's analysis paralysis. So it's
Yeah,
when you view something to a point that it consumes you, where you
yeah,
only have one point of view, which is your perceived point of view. And there are other things that you could do to fix it, but you're so fixated in what you've that it
um,
paralyzes you.
yeah.
Um, on
Yeah.
on Arteta, I've got a view. I love to hate him because he's a very easy target. He's a very,
Yeah,
very, very easy target in that he's
Hmm.
arrogant, but he hasn't really done much. I think the Community Shield was a team that was Unai's team, and then he just came in and They won the Community Shield, and now we're celebrating that he's got a trophy. He doesn't, but technically he does. It's
Yeah.
like the COVID league win by Liverpool. It exists because there's an asterisk on it. But anyway, um,
Yeah.
what I struggle with
Yeah.
him is he's falling into a trap of um, I think Arsenal TV is him. Plenty
The
of
Lulu.
delusional views
Excuses.
Mm-hmm.
and excuses. For him to say that the better team was knocked out of the Champions League against PSG, mate, you lost both legs. Do you need a
Literally.
third leg for you to go right and prove that you're the better team? So I struggle with him on that. And I think he needs to step away and relook what has failed him. And every time it's either end of Jan after Christmas, or well, this time actually they pushed. They pushed this year. It was when I think they lost the league in April.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah, end of March. So I think he needs to find out exactly why is it that he loses so many players in and around or after Christmas. Injuries are going to happen in football. That's a
Uh-huh.
given. It's a contact sport, and we're
Yeah.
dealing with human beings and whatnot. But he needs to be honest with himself and look at how many minutes these boys are putting in for him. Because I get consistency where you're putting in the same squad and whatnot. But there comes a point where that shit has to stop and you look at the bench. Because the
Mm.
longer you have that gelling mentality that exists, some players just know themselves as they're going to be bench players, so they're not really motivated.
Mm.
But if you every now and again you surprise them and they start and whatnot, and you do rotation and that allows you also to
Mm.
build a strong bench. Because unfortunately, his bench is not the best. So sort
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
injuries, sort out a striker. And okay, when I say sort out, I don't mean sort out injuries. I don't mean that even if this striker is injured, he must play. But I'm saying like learn to nurture and care for these players and not overexert them to the point of when Saka got injured, I think everyone thought the season was over for him because of the amount of minutes that he played.
And just to add to that also, it just goes to trust. He doesn't trust the players on the bench.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's
There's
true.
been enough
That is so
opportunities
true,
for him
bro.
to rotate. And
I
he
don't know
doesn't.
who made a comment about Raheem Sterling. Sterling has been carrying money for the past 6 months, and I think he's not played more
Mm.
than an hour of football.
Yeah.
Yo, Sterling. And it's crazy. Sterling, isn't he still in his 20s, dog?
He
He's
is, but he started
29, I
at
believe.
Liverpool very early.
Yeah.
29.
Yeah,
Yo, but that's crazy. Yo. He's just now that player now. He's
Yeah.
a vet, you know, just
Yeah. He's,
hopping, club hopping, literally.
yeah. He's securing his RA, making sure that he's got more than
Yeah.
enough on his retirement fund.
I know, indeed. In closing, gents, do you guys have words in closing? Words of the day to share in?
So words of the day. I see that you
Huh?
don't want to speak about the elephant in the room. I understand. I totally understand. And if I were in your shoes, I'd also I wouldn't. But I'll speak
Yeah.
about my team. Um,
Yeah.
Chelsea, a frustrating bunch of kids, and that's the unfortunate thing that you are going to get with having such a young squad. Tosin is the oldest player at Chelsea and he's 27.
Damn.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That home is going back home. I think with the talent that we've got.
You guys don't want him now. You guys don't want him, dog. You don't want him.
You know what?
Now we're
To
good.
be
We're good.
to be fair,
So
he's
yeah,
he's done okay. But the reality
true.
is that he's, yeah, for me, he hasn't been bad as what people have made him out to be, but he hasn't been great. It's
Mm.
just been okay. I think the
Yeah, if he was
biggest,
at Villa,
yeah,
he can
he would
get
have
away
been
with it.
getting away
Yeah,
with it.
but like now, I think Chelsea has got three South American players coming through.
Yeah,
One is Brazilian, plays in the exact position that he plays. And I think, yeah, Enzo is going to be like, yo, homie, you start. But Jackson getting that red card, and the weirdest thing ever. I don't know, X, you saw. I was saying, and remember, you got the red card 33rd minute. I'd been saying for like
Yeah,
that
30.
Jackson's not offering us anything, and this this I won't call him names. I'll call him Jackson. That's his name. Let's call him that. He goes 30 minutes in. He hasn't offered the team anything because he lacks that sense of urgency where he wants to play the game at his pace. There's not so many players that can do that and get away with it. I think the EPL right now is like
Yeah.
quick. You had a
That's fast paced.
yeah, you had a player that you bought from Spurs, a striker. I forgot his name now.
Us,
Yeah,
United.
United.
Berbatov.
Berbatov could get
Berbatov.
Berbatov could get
Yeah.
away with playing the game at his pace because his touches
You
are
know why?
brilliant. His first touch.
100%. I was about to say, first touch, Berbatov kills. Because the thing is that when you have a quality first touch, it means that it saves you so much time, bro, on the ball. Because you kill the ball immediately,
Thank you.
instantly you control and you
That's
release.
why
And that was what, yeah,
when you're a player, you're in the trade of buying time, because you're buying yourself time to actually think of what you want to do, and then let your body interpret it, and your first touch allows you to do
yeah,
that. And minutes later, after I said it, he then goes and he tries to bully the defender by going in with an elbow first. And the minute that it happened, I was the first one to say red.
yeah, red card. Yeah, I recall.
And it's like, nah, it's not a red.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, it's a red.
Mm.
And now what he's done is he's taken himself out of contention against United, out of contention against Forest. I think the Forest game is going to be a huge
Oy.
game because we need Champions League. There's no bullshitting, no running away from that. Chelsea, with the amount of talent that they have, young talent as it is, they need Champions League football. That's where we
Yeah.
belong.
I think the reality is also, I mean, you've hit it the nail on the head there. The team's just too young. This I remember we were on a podcast at the beginning of the season, and they were playing well at that point. And I just said the reality of it is there's gonna be a slump with that because even in those games you could see certain things that were lacking. And I think as this team gets older and more mature, there will be more points where they'll understand how to grind results out. I think for me, the real struggles was that final three games of Brighton, that period where we lost to Brighton and then lost to Villa. And those were
Thank you.
games that we shouldn't have lost. The
Yeah, that's
Brighton
exactly.
game, maybe, but the Villa one, we just gave away the points at the end of the day. And it's those points that have
Dude,
come back to
we
haunt us.
played. What's this team Delap plays for?
Ipswich, they took 5 points of us.
Yes, it's
The
it's
only
exactly
team
what.
that they've
Yeah.
taken more points than anything off the team was against Chelsea.
Yeah, it's the same thing that's happened at Pirates, where
Yep.
when it's crunch time, we crack. And I think you spoke of a slump where a team has to go through a slump. There's no
Yep.
way that you can, unless you're the Invincibles, but like that's not going to happen again. That was a freak of nature. Um, you have to go through a slump for you to go right ahead and realize who you are. It's easier with the mature players to pull them out of that slump than it is for younger players. They are now in an era of social media where it's very quick for us to give them excuses. I mean, I saw Nicholas Jackson where he went and said say no to racism as a first post match, instead of saying I'm sorry fans, I did you guys dirty. The first thing that he says is a reactive thing to say, well, social media is abusing me. He fucked up. He's human. He did what he did. He thought it was the right thing at the time. For us to move on, first tweet should be, and stay away from Twitter. That's the first thing. But
Yeah.
anyway, since you're there, apologize to the fans that you take this on the chin and you apologize, and then everyone is going to back you to say racism is wrong. Racism is wrong, but that shouldn't be the first point that you address. The first point should be your performance.
Yeah, no, it's basically just taking responsibility, and that's where those mature players come in. I think
Thank you.
that
So
period that Chelsea and
Mm.
United are suffering from it as well. the
I
rush.
don't
You
think
know,
I don't think they've got a
you
young
know what's
team
the
though.
problem with yeah, you know what's the problem is that we don't want to put respect on Casemiro's name,
Yeah,
bro. Like really, that should be our captain, in my
yeah,
opinion. That should be the guy who leads the players because he's done it at the highest level. He's done it more than the club has. He's got more Champions Leagues than Man United alone. He's proven that he's a game winner. If you watch our Europa League games,
yeah,
Cass has been the one who carries us. I mean, even against Leon, it was him who was man of the match, in my opinion.
Does it
You
matter
know, so
though?
I just feel like yeah, no, but like it I just feel like the power he's not respected. You know, it's only now that the manager has acknowledged that Cass is an important player and has even apologized to him. But come on, guys, it doesn't take a rocket scientist, to see that
I don't think
the
that
guy's a
changes
leader.
anything. I think you can lead and not be
Yeah.
the captain. I think if you he's got matches in him, big
No, but they were
matches.
benching him though. But they were benching him
yeah.
though, CK,
Nah,
like
but
He
majority
wasn't
of the
playing.
of the
He was,
season. It's only now near the end where the manager has decided to finally realize that this guy is actually an important player in the squad.
but you've lost the season.
It's only now.
Sorry, X.
Yeah,
You've lost the whole.
yeah,
Okay, I'm not focusing on where you are position
mm,
wise on the log. I'm saying you've
yeah.
lost
I
the
know.
season now. That the manager's like, oh, that I find that player to be very important. What does it do for Casemiro? Because I mean, he's got like 3 years left in
Mm.
his, and but come next season, he's not. I don't think he's going to be operating at the same level as he was now. So, in you saying it as a manager, what are you wanting to achieve? Are you wanting I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm cynical about it, but like, what are you wanting to achieve? Saying, "Oh yes, sorry, I made a mistake. You were the best player that I had that I didn't use." Come end of the season for a
Yeah.
player who's now what
He's hoping
34.
that he'll win he's hoping that the guy's gonna score a header in the final of the Europa League. That's what he's hoping for.
I, I don't know if we're gonna have an episode.
And it's sad.
Are we gonna have an
No,
episode
but
prior to the final?
yeah, no, we should have one,
When is the
because
final, by the
we
way?
also need to. It's on the 21st of
When
May,
is that? What day is it?
and we also need to. It's a
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Can you
Ah, you're losing
imagine?
it. Fuck.
Yeah, yeah,
Nah,
yeah. And
I
then
think
Anthony as
Spurs will
well.
somehow make United win the game.
Nah,
They
I think with United, it's very important what day of the week it is when they play.
Oh, Wednesday.
Now it registers.
Oh, okay. I
Your
see.
manager, I
What
think.
about you guys?
Nah.
What about your
What
team?
about my team?
Yeah,
I'm fighting for
exactly.
top.
Don't you play on
I'm fighting.
Thursdays?
I'm fighting to qualify.
Yeah, but
Hold on. I'm fighting to qualify
yeah,
Champions League by my log position.
for what?
Not.
Yeah, but I'm also gonna qualify. We're gonna
the back
both
door.
will also be there. Do the factor. I'm gonna be like, yeah, what up, what's Gucci, dog? First day of school,
If
dog.
I
United
find
is
you.
You
all
I
I'm
think
remember,
I've
gonna
said
say
this.
is
you know,
Sorry, I'm gonna use. I'm
yeah,
gonna.
when those fixtures come out, let's do the draw.
the what?
That whoever wins that Europa League, they're all gonna be wanting that game as a fixture in that league table, whatever they do.
So sorry, I'm gonna talk a bit soft because I need to log
Yeah,
off. This guy is just falling asleep.
yeah,
I struggle with your
yeah,
manager. By the way,
yeah.
emotionally, I don't find him intelligent. In that he says things that he's read off social blogs. Okay. And I get that this match is important to him and whatnot. But for him to say, yo, Cass, brilliant player, just didn't use you and whatnot, why? And I don't feel that your captain is the only person who has a voice in the team.
Seems like it is,
Nah.
personally.
There was a point, Jared, correct me if I'm wrong. I think we've raised this before. Chelsea had over 7 international captains
Yeah.
at the same
Captains,
time.
yeah. Hmm.
Now, that did not mean that only JT was the one who would speak with that base.
Yeah.
He had to understand that he's speaking to guys that have done it all. And they were not captains of their sides. Like I'm not talking about Hundaras or whatever. I'm talking about proper teams. So for your manager to go right
Like
ahead and
Ivory
spew
Coast.
that freaking that
I,
Cass, nah, fuck him.
I think I'll answer this to Sishle. I think for me, the reality is
Mm,
also, let's just be honest, and X has been banging on about that. It's a different era, bro. That time, that changing room was full of men. Those guys would tell one another, they'll swear at one another, but at the end of the day, they know, gents, we're here to win, and this is what we need to do to win.
See, you're more intelligent than
mm.
this guy because he didn't articulate himself when he was defending his manager.
Who? Who, dog? Come on, bro. I
Where are
just
you?
tell you.
You I don't know why the camera keeps on looking at us, but you,
Let's call it. Hey, let's call it eight. Yeah. It's been an hour and 10 minutes. This has been a very insightful episode. Thank you so much for availing yourself, gents. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. People, help a brother out. This is Easy Sports, and we're out.
Peace.
Peace.